All right, all right, all right. I've been stewing about this for a while now. This is something that I struggle with. A lot of people struggle with. I am not centered there. And that is how to get things done when you don't feel like it. uh, so I've had the distinct pleasure and privilege of working with veterans for 10 years now or so. It started when I was an undergrad, and I noticed that the psychologists around me were saying X Y Z, but the veterans around me were hearing blah blah blah. So I basically just I tried to work as a translator. Basically, I would take psychological concepts and I would explain it in different words or as it pertains to military or the values that we hold. So um, and then I started my own therapy for 2 years, and one of the leading drivers in that was what can I learn from this? What can I learn in this process that I can take to the other veterans out there? So this is this is not a this is not something that is out there to fix anybody at all. This is me. um, what a lot of people what a lot of people that know me may not know is that I have wildly varying curves of productivity. Some days, man, I am in the zone. Bam, knocking out tasks, knocking out projects, forecasting, strategic thinking, bam, bam, bam. And then some days, like it may be 1, 2, 3 days, a weekend, something. I am the most useless person alive. I can't do a doggone thing. Just motivation's not gone. So, and I've tried to figure out, what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and and remember not to beat myself up too much when it happens. So, wishful thinking is not a strategy. I used to have this on my wall. So, quickly here, the depression. So this isn't specifically for combat veterans. This isn't specifically for anyone. There's a great YouTube video. I watched a guy talk about the monkey brain and procrastination and stuff, and it was funny. It was hilarious. It was good. He spent 99% of it telling awesome stories and stuff, which was great. And then the very end of it, he's like, "Here's how you get past it." And like, I wish he would have spent more time on that. But basically, I love the comment that he had was that he doesn't believe that there's procrastinators and non-procrastinators. I mean, a friend of mine just finished grad school, and she considers herself a super procrastinator. Like, that's just the kind of person she is. But yet, she just finished grad school. It's not easy, dude. Congrats. Not only that, and she also, a couple years ago, she got first place in her weight class division and first place overall at a bodybuilding championship. Dude, you just don't go show up and win a bodybuilding championship. That takes days of months, weeks of planning and consistent daily effort. So she still describes herself as a procrastinator. I would beg to differ. That this guy says that there's not two types of people, procrastinators and non-procrastinators. So a lot of veterans, I don't know the numbers here, but a lot of veterans come back and we struggle with this, with depression, a lot of depression that's going on. And quick disclaimer, where's my disclaimer hat? That's just right. This is not medical advice and should not be taken as clinical advice, and Ed does not hold a degree in clinical psychology and is no substitute for therapy. All right, now we got that out of the way. Funny thing, what is depression? You even broached the concept of depression with veterans and such, and automatically we tuned you out. Why? Because what is depression? What does the average person say depression is?
Well, you're just sad all the time. You just had the blues. You just sit around and watch Hallmark movies and cry.
Wrong! Depression can occur at the same time that you are sad or have lost something, or experience a lot of loss, depression, such as after the death of a loved one. Sure, absolutely. But does depression by itself mean that? No. Depression is all that motivation you got. Hey, I'm gonna go do this thing. Bam. The new Avengers movie is coming out. It looks pretty cool. And you just get this feeling like I want to go see the movie. Well, boom, take away that feeling. No feeling whatsoever to want to go do this thing. That's depression. You have depressed motivation, zero motivation. So much so to where just getting out of bed in the morning is Herculean. Hercules. And a lot of people who never experienced this, just I don't understand. How can you not get out of bed in the morning? All right, if you've never experienced that, then just go ahead and click off, go away, go watch something else. Just go watch some Rome Total War videos. Those are some entertaining videos. That's what I spend a lot of time watching. Is Ultimate Battle Simulator: 3,000 Spartans versus 3,000 T-Rexes. Awesome, but maybe it's not getting out of bed in the morning. Maybe it's something like I just can't write that report. Maybe procrastinate on something. So I think we can all understand what that feels like. So a lot of veterans are coming back, and I mean I've referenced this a lot. The Army Stars Report, STARRS. Forget what it stands for. Some Army acronym. Anyway, a lot of veterans are coming back with we're quick to anger, and we can't focus. Squirrel. Well, duh. We come from a high tempo operation environment where danger is around everywhere. So you have to keep your head on a swivel and be ready to respond to danger like that. So, duh. We have no ability to focus, and we are quick to anger. Big shocker there. Most veterans, just given some time, will completely come out of that. They'll be totally fine. But one of the side effects of the inability to focus is you're pulled in different directions by whatever the latest and loudest, the shiny object is. So that latest email from the boss, the latest email from anybody, whatever, will grab your attention. These things. I love me some iPhone. I am a big proponent of technology. You may see me in a line with the phone looking down. And I know people will poo-poo this, look at everybody. Nobody's connected with each other. Dude, I'm an introvert. I don't connect people anyway. I might be on Instagram, sure. Or I might be reading Epictetus, Stoic philosophy. You don't know. So quit judging. Let people look at their phones. But if it is a problem, put it down. So the problem with that is that you can't focus on anything, and then you're pulled in many different directions, and then you are no longer an active agent in your life, which has a problem, which actually may help make depression worse. Because if you consistently operate by how you feel, which a short attention span really works with that, then when do you feel like writing like you're working on a novel? When do you feel like writing on it? When do you feel like reviewing the draft proposal for a new contract? When do you feel like writing that letter to the loved one saying how much you appreciate them? When do you feel like cleaning out the garage? When do you feel like planning for your upcoming wedding anniversary? When do you feel like if you constantly work off of what you feel like, when do you get it done? Well, that's a problem, right? And we all know what it's like. Just I don't feel like doing this, but I got to do it. The panic monster helps with that. It's due tomorrow. I better get done with this. Well, you're feeling that motivation to get it done because you don't want to be yelled at, or you don't want to get fired, or you don't want to whatever. That's motivation. If you didn't care about that, you wouldn't do it. All right. So there's a lot of different websites and stuff out there. I mean, there's a lot of noise. You got to try to find some good stuff. But Googling around motivation when you're depressed and stuff like that. Here's one here. 9 strategies for boosting motivation when you're depressed. Get out of bed, not out of pajamas. That sounds silly, but it's not. I can't quote you the exact statistics, but I read at one place somewhere that single mothers with depression had shorter and fewer bouts of depression than women same age without kids. Basically, what they were hypothesizing and discussing, and there was this might be to the fact that they've got to get up and take care of the kids. And once you start rolling, boom. So yeah, I found this a big one for me. Getting out of bed, going for and changing, and going for a walk. This is huge. So, little story. Ed tells a lot of stories. All right. So, funny thing, you either love it or you hate it. So, long time ago, not that long ago, back in the mid 2000s or so, I was living in Eugene, Oregon, and I lived on Jefferson Street, and I worked past 13th and something. Anyway, it was like 10 blocks away that I walked to work. In the afternoon, I'd work nights at a club. So I'd walk. And it's a nice little walk. Well, funny thing, here's the deal what was happening. I'd work, 5-6 nights a week or something like that. 4 nights a week, depending on what the schedule was that year or time of year. And I'm like, man, I can't wait till the weekend, because you know what I'm going to do on the weekend? I'm going to go hiking. I'm going to read. I'm going to play Tomb Raider. I'm going to play this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to paint. I'm going to write poetry. I'm going to go to that new cafe. I'm going to do this and this and this and this. Oh, so much stuff. And then I sleep late on the first day off. And then before you know it, the weekend's come and gone. I've done nothing. What the hell, man? And then, because I just didn't feel like it, right? There was no motivation there. And then come the first day of work, I'm like, man, another weekend gone. Okay. I'd get up, I'd change, and I would walk to work. And, it was a nice thing for me. Halfway there, there's a little bitty neighborhood grocery store set in a house. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really cool. And I'd sometimes buy a cup of coffee there, and maybe a stick of cheese or something, or crackers, and I would eat it and just enjoy the neighborhood and the leaves and stuff, and the seasons and the air and stuff. And all of a sudden, bam, halfway through my walk, I'm getting creative ideas that I haven't had all weekend, new plot lines for stories and this and that. I'm like, where was this motivation before? I could have used this 2 days ago. Now it's showing up at the beginning of my work week. I didn't know this then. I was still a couple years out from finishing my degree and experimentation stuff. I didn't know that just the act of moving creates motivation. So one of the things that I have here, I am fortunate that I get to work from home. I negotiated that in my contract, so I get to work from home, which I think everybody should be able to do. I am expected to have XYZ deliverables. If I don't get these deliverables, fire me. I can get more done on my MacBook Pro here in 1 hour than I can in 5 hours in a cubicle hell. Don't work in cubicles. Open office environments, whoever designed that is an idiot. Anyway, back off, Ed. Don't go there. So one of the things that has helped me here is that I'll get up and I'll take a shower. I'll meditate. My first thing in the morning is meditate, and then I can take a shower, change over, bam, just puts me in the mindset of getting things done, right? And then if I'm really kind of sluggish, right over there, I got a park. I go walk around the park. So that's huge. Here at the top here, this one right here, don't mistake depression and lack of motivation for laziness. Military culture especially, but any go-getter culture out there, CEOs and whatever. If you don't feel like doing anything, you don't do anything. What does that mean? That means you're lazy, you rat bastard. So what do you do? You feel bad about it, which actually makes it worse. So how do you get out of this if you're hurting yourself on that? I'll tell you a story, and I'm going to go into more of this later on, but tell a story. About 10 years ago or so, I was one of my jobs with veteran reintegration, and I had 7 counties in my territory. But anyway, one of the veterans in this territory, I worked with this person, lots. A lot of times communication was no more than dirty jokes over a text, but important to keep that connection going. And then one day, this person, he calls me up, and he had to go. He had to go to an appointment at the VA for something or other, because this was going to go to an HUD-VASH program, which is going to help him move out of this bad environment with lots of people and this and that into a new place, stability, income, college, all kinds of stuff. But this was an important event, because this person would do good for a couple of days, get things done, and then fall off the radar for a couple of days, just happen, and miss appointments and miss paperwork and stuff like that. And And this pattern would go back and forth, back and forth. And it wasn't only this veteran. Every veteran that I worked with has told me that they felt that they were the only one going through this. And this is a pattern that's very common. I mean, even employment agency. I was talking to an employment agency person that works with veterans, and he even said, "Man, I thought you veterans were supposed to be like on the ball and dependable and stuff like that. But I can't get these veterans to just show up with a resume." And then I pulled him off to the side, and I just spent 30 minutes explaining to him the motivation, the psychology of motivation as it pertains to veterans after a deployment and how that works, and what thresholds of awareness and all sorts of stuff. 30 minutes. It blew his mind. He's like, "Holy cow, this explains a lot." I'm like, "Yeah, this is how you help that veteran along the process." But meanwhile, who is beating that veteran up? The veteran. The veteran is just thinking to himself or herself that he or she is the most undisciplined, unprofessional, untrustworthy, just ugh. This person actually making it worse. So anyway, this person called me up, had to make this appointment but it's like 6 counties away, and said, even though I work as a contractor or a civilian, they still, when they find out that I was in the military or I am in the military, they still call me by rank. It's just one of those things. "Sergeant Black, I'm stuck." "All right, man, what's going on? What do you mean you're stuck?" "I have to make the appointment. It's in 30 minutes, but I can't move." This person wasn't afraid, sitting in the corner with a gun, like, "I can't move, man." No, it's just stuck. Did not have the motivation to go to the appointment. And so I broke it down, and I'm going to explain this later on, but I said, okay, what is the next step? What is the very next small, concrete, minute little freaking step? Pick up the car keys, which is right there in front of them. Pick it up. Okay, cool. What's the next step? Walk to the door. Okay, let's walk to the door. I'm on the phone with him. Walks to the door. What's the next step? Open the door. Okay, open the door. Click. What's the next step? Walk through the door. Okay, let's walk through the door. What's the next step? Close the door. And you see, and seriously, we went through this. Close the door, turn around, walk to the car, open the car, get in the car, close the door, put on the seatbelt, put the key in ignition, turn on the car, put it in reverse, back up. We went through this little minute steps. And at one point, this person just bust out laughing. Just, "This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life." And I said, "Yeah, but where are you right now?" "I'm at the corner of such and such and such and such." "Yep, you are halfway to your appointment. Whereas 10 minutes ago, you were stuck." So it works. And the person's like, "Yeah, this shit works. Wow." All right, so I struggle with this too. Like I said, I mean, I will go days, where I'm just like, I don't feel like doing anything. And there's lots of good stuff that's out there, set the bar low. So I'm going to go over some stuff here. So one of the things that you can do to help yourself out is, right off the bat, this has to do with productivity. It's just quality of life, dude. Is one, think about this. You're the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. So this past week, write down who did you hang out with on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, And if you live with a family and they're all cannibals from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, sorry, dude, the deck is stacked against you, But for a lot of times, aside from work, we do have an impact. We do have an ability to shape the people that we hang out with most. And there have been people that I've seen, that I've met. I've walked up to them. In fact, one of them is a friend of mine, and I gave her my card. I was like, "Man, you are freaking awesome. We've got to be friends." I collect awesome people. In fact, I have a birthday coming up here in January, and I'm trying to gather these people together. Why? Because they're freaking awesome. It's not a birthday party for me. It's just a chance for me to see everybody. When I see somebody that's amazing, that can whatever, I want to collect this person in my bag of friends. So what are the 5 people you hang out with the most? And if it's the Muppets, I got bad news for you, man. I don't know. Actually, some of these are pretty good, Fozzie Bear. We could use some Fozzie in our life, right? So, count your blessings. The Army calls it hunt the good stuff, resiliency stuff here. But basically, one of the things that you can do is this, all right? We're already primed to the negative, and this is probably help exacerbating some of the depression that we may be feeling. All right, so this has an impact. Trust me on this. All right, so at the end of the day today, write down 3 things that you are thankful for. Whatever it is, does not matter, no judgment. It could be big, like, like the Bears clinched the NFC North, right? Or it could be something small. I had coffee today.
That doesn't count. That's just minor.
Dude, have you ever been deployed someplace where you have crap for coffee? I mean, Starbucks is all over the place now, but there were times when I'd go home to visit Arkansas, and good luck, it's all Folgers. All right? Or training out in the field, and it's cold and stuff like that, and like, man, a cup of coffee right now would be awesome. So, yeah, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, dude, I had, I had my cold broke today. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. 3 good things, all right? And if you're not used to this, the first thing that you notice is when you do this, it's going to take a while. It's going to take at least 5 minutes to knock this out. 3 things? Shit, what happened? If it's that hard for you to do, what do you think your day is like? But if you do this every day, and this is the key, you got to do it every stinking day. So you do it every day. What this does is it starts to change your brain to start looking for this. Because your brain in the background is thinking, all right, remember, it's taken us 5 minutes to do this. We better start looking now. What is good? Oh, look, there's a squirrel. I like squirrels. Actually, there is a squirrel there. I've been feeding them peanuts. I got squirrels in my neighborhood trained to take peanuts out of my hand. I'll be there in a minute, dude. He's looking at me like, where's my peanuts, dude? So whatever it is, but your brain is going to start looking for those things like, where is this good stuff? And by the end of the day, you'll be like, oh yeah, here's 1, 2, 3. Well, you're changing the frame of your brain to look for positive things. You're changing the bias to look for the positive over the negative. The negative is always going to be there. You can't help but see negative stuff when it happens. But you can at least balance it out some, dude. So that goes a long way, believe it or not. And when you first start doing this, yeah, it's going to be hard to find those first 3 things. But after you do this pretty regularly, you'll notice that there is so many good things out there. It is amazing how it's a universe of coolness, of awesomeness that's out there. All right? But, I mean, if you want to dive into the research some, I mean, just listening through things, I mean, there's some conflicting evidence about how effective that is or not. But, I mean, if you really want to get the benefit out of this, you really want to make this power charge, you also add what you did to contribute to it. But, I'll show you. So, like, the first one right here, I had a cup of great coffee today. What did I do? Well, I'm the one that picked out the coffee. I bought it. Yay me. Right? I set the context for success in this department. Good job, dude. All right. Or number 2, spent time with partner at the park. Okay. Well, I made the call, made the plans to go to the park, and was present. All right. Hey, let's go to the park today. Cool. Okay. All right. Bam. Awesome. All right. Yay me. Again. Good job. And then the third one was offered a job at Disneyland. All right. I spent the effort to look for that job, create a resume, go to Disneyland and say, hey, Now, a lot of times people will ask me, they'll say,
but Ed, I'm grateful for that it was a sunny day. I didn't do anything. I'm not God. I didn't make it sunny day.
True. Unless this is the Matrix, But I turn around and ask people, I'm like, how many people walking around us right now have stopped to look and appreciate how beautiful the day was? How many? I mean, raise your hands if you've ever driven down the street on a busy highway and stopped. I did this one time on I-5. Traffic running back and forth. And there's a beautiful sunset in the Willamette Valley here in Oregon. And I just pulled off to the side of the road and just sat there with the top down in my Mustang, just appreciated the sunset. 10 minutes just sitting there watching the sunset. Gorgeous. I've done that more than one time. How many people stop and just notice? So there you go. Who said it? That day does not dawn to which we are not awake. You got to wake up for it. I'm not going to watch the video here, but if you're interested in that, it is the Marshmallow Test. Just go watch the Marshmallow Test, all right? And the point of the Marshmallow Test isn't, people have taken that out of context. I've read the authors of the test. I read their book. I think it's called the Marshmallow Test. I don't know. There's a book about it. And I've read interviews with the guy and stuff like that, and it's like, holy cow, have people taken this and run with it? No, because you failed the Marshmallow Test does not mean you suck and you're going to end up homeless in a van down by the river. And if you pass the Marshmallow Test, you're going to be a CEO. No, it is contextual. You can fail one day and pass it the next day. There's a lot of things that go into it. All right, it is not that clear cut of a test to determine whether or not you've got it or don't got it. All right. Again, there's a lot there, but one of the things, what they were interested in when they looked at that study was what strategies did the kids use to put off the instant gratification. That's what they were interested in. And if you watch the video, you see that some of the kids, they ignored it. They didn't look at the marshmallow. Some actually went across the room and played somewhere else. Some distracted with games and stuff like that. There's a lot of different ways you can distract yourself from this thing. But one of the things that's helpful, and other researchers have found, is that tying present time tense activities to a future reward and being really clear about that future reward helps. As Nietzsche said, we can overcome any what if we have a big enough why. Kind of, I'm paraphrasing. I don't have the exact quotes, but basically, what is your big why? Well, look at this picture here. I've shown this picture often. Every time there's a big blizzard or a hurricane and everybody evacuates the East Coast, does the Army evacuate the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier? No, hell no. I will guard everything within the limits of my post and quit the post only when properly relieved. All right? They ain't leaving. All right? So why? Why are they able to do this? Do you think it's any less cold for these guys? I mean, look at this guy. Dude's cold. And his mind is wandering sometimes. He's just like, squirrel, look, another snowflake, more snow, awesome, snow. My core frames are not warm, dude. So no, these guys aren't really loving life right now, but they're able to do it. They're able to muster the discipline. Well, that discipline comes from a couple places. One of those is tied to a future goal. What is the goal here? What is the meaning of this? There's a lot of meaning in guarding the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. That is sacred ground for us, especially in the military. It should be sacred ground for the United States as a whole, but that's an whole other topic. All right. So it's not enough to know what to say no to. Say no to the couch. You also got to know what to say yes to. All right. Come on, Ed. Will you get to the point? Yes, I am getting there, dude. Will you just relax? Jeez, I don't see on the wall over there, but I got a bunch of these medals and stuff like that. And one of the things that I wanted to do, and this is like some of them I've updated since. I've run a lot more. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to do before I hit 40 years old was run a marathon. So 39 years old, I started running. Did I want to run? No. How many times a week did I run on average? 0.00 something. I maybe ran like 3 times a year. Maybe. Up to then, I was not a runner, dude. But to train for a marathon, I had to run 3 times a week. And why? Because I had a goal. And once I ran that first marathon, I was kind of hooked. I ran like 10 in 5 years. Because I'm nuts. I got addicted to it. I kind of miss it, want to do it again. But anyway, so this was a driving force for me to get up and go run it. And also, this was a why. Why put yourself through this 3 times a week minimum training effort? So goal setting. There's tons of stuff out there in goal setting. There's the SMART system and all this other stuff. And I have to ask people today, you do a training or you sit down with kids or something like that and I say, describe to me goal setting or explain to me what SMART is. The acronym SMART was like one of the most popular ones out there for goal setting. And everybody's like, specific, measurable. All right, if you have to stop and think about it like that, it's no good, dude. I know the acronym makes it easy, and people will probably be beholden to it because it is an acronym, and we love our freaking acronyms and stuff. And so Can't kill it. Well, sacred cows, I will eat a sacred cow hamburger all day long. Don't care. If it's what everybody thinks it should be, doesn't mean you can't look at it and throw it away. Smart, throw it away. Yes, this incorporates smart, but I don't use smart. You got to explain something that a 5-year-old, 5th grader, 5-year-old might be pushing it, can understand. So when I explain to people like goal setting, boom, here it is. All right. So 1, what does done look like? This is straight up David Allen GTD right now. All right. What does done look like? Explain it. Describe it in detail. You're a writer. Done. I'm putting on a party, and what's happening? Well, everybody's dancing and they're drinking punch and there's cool music going on. Cool. All right. Let's describe all this, right? That's what done looks like. All right. And how can you measure it? What's a quantifiable thing that you can measure? Number of people that walk in the door, number of people that are on the dance floor at one particular time, number of songs that's played, liters of punch drink, whatever. We got to measure this stuff. And then the last one here is, what is the next step? This is straight up GTD, but I've made it, way simpler for my little brain. What's the next step? What's the next thing that you can do right now to push this goal forward? And that's straight from a review, a GTD review. So this right here, I sit down with my soldiers. I'm like, let's not make this complicated. Is this realistic? I'm like, fuck that. We're going to go to the moon. Somebody sat somewhere with the SMART program and said, we're going to put a man on the moon? That's not realistic. That's not achievable. So screw that. No, I ain't believing it. Throw out the achievable and realistic bullshit.
But you're setting yourself up for failure.
Well, get to that. Hold your horses. All right, so going back to the person that I was on the phone with, all right? So the person that was on the phone that could not move. Here's the dealio. They imagined, their brain was like, I have got to get to this appointment and pass this appointment so I can do X, Y, and Z and get all, my HUD VASH so I can get their vouchers so I can move out, blah, blah, blah. That was a whole lot of stuff packed into, I got to get to this appointment. So, in other words, this person had an elephant inside their head that they were trying to eat. And the motivation that they had just wasn't there. Quickly saying, a lot of veterans coming back with an elevated threshold of awareness. In other words, for a lot of people, you wake up and you're like, I'm getting kind of hungry, just a little bit. Rate your hunger on a scale of 1 to 10. 2? 3? You could eat a cracker. All right, cool. And then if you don't eat right now, it's a 4. And then come lunch, you're like, man, I'm hungry. Let's go to get some Subway. Are you starving? You're not starving. You're like a 4 or 5. All right. If you don't eat until tonight, you're like, man, I am famished. All right. Especially if you go work out, you're like, I'm going to eat something. Food I find on the road, I don't care. I want to eat it. All right. Your awareness of that process is there the entire time. But if I took your awareness, your ability to feel, to be aware of what you're feeling, and I raise it up to where you don't feel anything, you're not aware of anything that you feel that's below a level 7. How long did it take for you to get to level 7? Right? So do you feel it when you're a little bit hungry? Are you aware of it? No. Are you aware of it when you're kind of hungry? No. You're not actually aware of it until, man, I'm starving. All of a sudden, I got to eat something. Well, that's, that cuts across everything. Cuts across sexual attraction, cuts across annoyance and anger, everything. Everything that's a feeling, you are not aware of it until it's powerful. The problem with that on the anger side is you watch the DV video that I made, just look around somewhere. You'll see that by the time you are aware of feeling angry, it is now, you are so angry that you don't care. You're like, we're going to fight everybody, right? So the trick is, or a lot of for veterans, is not only just, it's just mindfulness. It's not just mindfulness. I mean, there's a lot there, but that's a big proponent of it, to start building back up that awareness of yourself until you can catch it, right? So what this veteran experienced was like, all the stuff they had to get done, but that feeling motivation, like, hey, let me mail this envelope, let me fill out this form, let me put the stamp on it. They just weren't feeling that. And so, faced with this mountainous task, this elephant they had to eat, they didn't feel like eating it. You got a stack of dishes. Your sink is overflowing with dishes, and your cupboards are filled with dirty dishes. Go wash them. Do you feel like it? No. Nope. Nope, just gonna throw them away and buy new dishes. What if I ask you instead of cleaning your dishes, what if I ask you just to go wash one spoon? Same as eating an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One spoon at a time. Well, here's the trick. How big is a spoon? Well, if it's literal dishes, you know how big a spoon is. It's a spoon. Can you wash a spoon? Do you have the motivation? And that's all I'm asking you. Just go, not 100 dishes, just one spoon. Go wash that one spoon. Yeah, sure. That's easy. All right? I mean, really, honestly, trust me. Go wash a spoon. No ands, ifs, or buts if you don't do anything else. That's the hard part, because people feel lied to and they're like, I know I'm tricking myself. No, give yourself permission. Do one spoon and quit. It's okay. All right? That's a hump. You got to get past that hump, dude. So you go do that spoon, and before you know it, you'll do a spoon in a coffee cup. Okay, quit. Fine. Well, a spoon and a coffee cup in the dish. Okay, fine. Go ahead and quit. Spoon, and coffee cup, a dish, and a plate, and a pot. And before you know it, you wash the whole stack. Or if you washed half of it, you say, that was a good dent. I'll come back to this later on. That's fine too. But the point is, you started going, all right? So when I was running for marathons or so, this was my thing that I did every week. This is my basic training pattern. Front legs on Tuesday, medium runs, concentrating on form on Thursdays, and Saturday I'd push it out farther. Long runs, I'd whatever until eventually I can do 30 miles. If I can do 30 miles, I can run a 26-mile marathon. All right? But so here's the thing about the spoon. Going back to the spoon thing. All right? This works when you're running too. So I think it was the last marathon that I ran. I didn't train for it at all. Normally I have 3 months of running 3 times a week, but this time I didn't do any of it. All I did was CrossFit. I was just barbells and Metcons and stuff like that. And I had forgot that when I bought the tickets a year before, I had told myself, you know what? I think I can run a 7-minute mile or something for the pace for this. I really set myself up too. And then I forgot about that. So when I showed up to the marathon that morning, instead of my usual group over here, I was in this group. 3 groups ahead of where I normally start. 9 marathons before that, I'm like, whoa, these are fast guys here. And the problem with that is, like, I felt it. I felt good. I mean, I was running a 6:15, something like that pace for the first 5 miles. It was awesome. I was on fire. Well, funny thing, I haven't trained to run endurance, especially at that pace. And in CrossFit, yeah, sure, I could do an hour workout. I had a good engine at that time, but it's different when you go run 26 miles. Come mile 6, I was starting to cramp up. Come mile 7, I was cramping. I mean, I was like hobbling down the road, and the medics were walking by like, yep, we know that. And they just poured salt in my hand. So anyway, I was hurt, right? Instead of 6-minute, 15-second pace, I had dropped down to 12-minute pace. It was horrible. But I remember I played mental tricks with myself. I was like, man, I got, how many miles I got left? I forgot what my animation here. So I was halfway through this sucker, and I was like, I've got this far to go, right? 9 miles to go. I just sucked it up. I kept going. But come 9 miles to go, man, whatever this was, 17 miles or something? Yeah, 17 miles in. I was hurting. Everything was on fire. Just a million needles just stabbing all over my legs and everything. It just hurt. And I couldn't I couldn't bend them. They were just running like on stilts. How am I going to finish this last 9 miles, man? 9 miles sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But I played the game with myself. Well, 9 miles is actually 3 3-mile runs. Well, funny thing, 3 miles ain't jack. I can run 3 miles all day long. Right? So that's exactly what I told myself. You know what? You're not doing 9 miles. You're doing 3 miles. 3 times. Hey, go drink 10 gallons of water. No, I ain't even going to start. Hey, go drink 1 ounce of water. And then how many ounces go into 10 gallons that many times, right? So that's what I did. So in one of the a lot of stuff out there, Carol Dweck and Angela Ducksworth has got some good research on mindset, and this is like one of my biggest problems when I go to the gym, boy, because for a variety of reasons, diet, sleep, probably, but mostly diet, I think, and just consistency. My anaerobic, anabolic, whatever engine in CrossFit, plus age, 48 years old, has just plummeted in the last 1-2 years or so. It's just plummeted, and it is a blow to the ego to go in and to not be able to move as fast and consistent as I could a year ago, 2 years ago. And it's just, I'm quick to go to identity theory, but Carol Dweck's research and such, they have a lot of good stuff on this that I have to remind myself all the stinking time. All right, but this is also useful not only in lifting barbells, but this is also useful in task, getting things done, my to-do list. All right, so that is this process over product. It's the same thing as the Carol Dweck identity theory and stuff like that. And process over product.
So check this.
Yeah, I'm not going to show that video. Study on praise and mindsets, Carol Dweck. There's the bit.ly thing there. But just start looking around YouTube for Carol Dweck mindset. All right, some good stuff in there. All right. So, yeah, next one. Basically, process over product is a lot of coders and people on the productivity side and computer geek side use that terminology, but there's a lot of similarity. I'm going to paraphrase. Basically, take two groups of kids. I forget what age they were. Go look up, watch the video, read the study. Two groups of kids, right? Group A, Group B. And they gave these groups puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, that were pretty easy. I don't know, for their age group. Anyway, Group A did it really good. Actually, both groups, they knocked it out of the park. They filled the puzzles. They did good. But Group A, the people told them, like, you know what? That is great job. You worked hard on that. Good effort. And other Group B, they said, you know what? You did a good job. You finished those puzzles. You're a great puzzle person, kid. Cool beans. Awesome. Ta-da. Well, they went back to them and they gave them another puzzle. This one was harder. It's like, it was above their level, like a 500-piece blue sky. I think I gave it away, but I had like a 500-piece bacon. It was just bacon. It was like, oh my, it took me forever to put it all together. But Group A, they had seen that they were being rewarded for their effort. So whether or not they could pass this or not wasn't important. They kept working at it. Group B was, giving attaboys kudos for completing the puzzle. So when they found that they couldn't complete the puzzle, they quit. And what they noted was also interesting was that they asked the Group B, like, would you like to take this puzzle home? It's yours. Group B was like, no, we don't want this. Group A, though, some of the kids were asking them, like, hey, can I have this? Or can you tell my mom where to find this to go buy this? They liked it. Why? Because when are you cool? When you try hard. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, here's something that gives you an opportunity to try hard. A hard puzzle. Well, cool. This shows me that I'm cool. I'm trying hard right now. That's why I got addicted to marathons. I got addicted because at mile 22 or so, I'd start hitting the wall, and then I would have to dig deep and push through that. And then I got addicted to saying, okay, I like this. I never come across this, at least to this extent. I like testing myself by this, and so that's what I started doing. So here are some books that I find particularly enjoyable. Some most of them are psychology books, except for 3, philosophy. So, but yeah, happiness, good stuff. The Happiness Hypothesis, Jonathan Haidt, outstanding book, man. I mean, I've used so much of that book in some of my trainings. It's not even funny. Upside of Your Dark Side. More people need to read this book, dude. Seriously.
because depression is bad.
No, it's not. Depression is not bad. Depression is, it has its uses, just like anger.
We shouldn't be angry.
I mean, seriously, I went to like the men's section of the bookstore because I work a lot with men and such. And men's psychology section, there's a book on anger, and psychologist Bob on the back is like, anger is an outdated emotion, and we have evolved past it. You're a freaking idiot. I'm not angry. I'm not. I'm just. That's how we talk in the military, right? So we're not thin-skinned. So funny thing, anger has uses. All right. When you feel anger, that's telling you that you're being transgressed against someone. But Ed, you have a Stoic book on there. Yes, I do have a Stoic book on there. Stoics felt emotions. All right. It is a misunderstanding that Stoics were these emotionless robots who never felt anything. Dude, no. No. That's not Stoicism. Stoicism was locus. Where is your locus of control at? It's not a class on Stoicism. I'm not going to go there. But where's your locus of control? And you look at, don't confuse your internal and external locus of control. And your happiness isn't dependent upon those external locus of control. So, yeah, whatever. So, good stuff there.